to honestly bitch about how hot it is. Not really. I'm coming to give a couple public service announcements because if you've been out in the heat, you're well aware that the UVs are too damn high and it's starting to get lethal. If you have to work outside, like if that's what you got to do, not your everyday job or your everyday job, if you are a day laborer, it's getting to the point where you have to go in by 1. Like you got to be on the job by 5 in the morning and then leave by 1 o'clock so that your ass doesn't die out there. So, starting this week, all the way into probably, I would say September, if we're being realistic, it's time for the sun hats. It's time for the sunscreen. It's time for ice packs. It's time for little cooling fans. It's time to make sure that you're being able to regulate your body temperature because honestly, once your blood temperature is over 108 degrees, it's telling your body you have a fever, right? You're going to suffer the consequences of being out there in that heat longer than you should be. If you have animals, if you have kids and they're in the car and you're just stopping at the gas station, you got to be in the shade. Your car is struggling. For those in the south where your air conditioner is absolutely shitting out on you, I hate to say it, but now's the time to start doing the close down the other rooms. Put your sheets up, seal your windows off. Same ghetto shit you got to do in the winter, you got to do in the summer to keep the heat out. It's not just about keeping the bill down, which the bill is outrageous, let's not lie. It's also not helping anybody that our gas wants to be a superstar right now while it's evaporating out of our tank, okay? It doesn't make any sense to raise the gas price like that when the temperature's up that high because literally when you get gas in the middle of the daytime, like say 3 or 4 in the afternoon, it's at maximum temperature, right? That also means the gas is expanded in the tank, in the pump, and honest to God, you're getting less gas per dollar during the daytime when it's all heated up than you are at night. This is one of those weird things, but if you look enough, these statisticians will tell you, get your gas at nighttime. Like literally when the sun goes down, get your gas at night because your tank's not expanded, the vapors aren't raising, the needle in your car. You're not getting a false read. So if you're wondering how come I put $10 in my tank and drove 2 places and now it's gone, well, 1, your air conditioner's using it. 2, it evaporated literally in the heat. And 3, there wasn't as much in there as you thought there was in the first place. So that's gas. I'm pretty sure the news is not covering gas anymore because it's pissing us all off. Also, for your summer sports, it's now so hot that if your kids are in athletics, have mercy. It's not acceptable for children to be doing football drills in this temperature. It's not acceptable for them to be out in the sun for more really than an hour at a time because even the animals need to be brought in. This is dangerous heat. It's dangerous enough to where it starts short-circuiting the electronics. It starts messing with gas pumps, credit card readers, vehicle problems. It shuts down air conditioners. Like, your air conditioner can only cool it down to about 20, 30 degrees less than what it is outside. So when it's a whole 100 outside, you're probably not going to get below 80 in your house. Like I said, you're going to have to start closing rooms off and things like that. To those who have central heat and air, awesome. But I bet your bill is sky high right now, and that sucks. It really does. So, to alternate and still try to keep it moving, indoor, outdoor, now is the pool season. Everything you want to do should be done water related. Like if you're going to go from indoor to outdoor and it's not a long trip or something, try to stop at the pool, try to stop at the splash pad, just something to keep yourself cool. I'm even talking like the cool rags that you put on the back of your neck so that you can keep your temperature regulated. You don't want your brain overheating, and that's a real possibility at this point. Just like COVID did some damage, sunspots do damage. Having a 108 degree actual temperature whenever the heat index is like 116, whew, you can't be conditioned enough to not feel that, right? So, to switch topics, from the gas, from the heat itself, the things that you do for entertainment, I had a water balloon fight with my children earlier. Let me just say this, guys. Those little bunch water balloons where you screw it onto the faucet and then it fills them all up at once for you, that shit is lethal. They do not bust. We tried to throw it at each other, and the first one my son threw gave me a giant whelp. So about 6 whelps later, the little one, he didn't want to play at all after the first one, but the big one had a blast. We had to tell him we won't throw them at him, but he can throw them, on the ground by us. So literally, the alternative to those balloons, the little grenade water balloons, are still totally fine. They do bust pretty easy. And you can get the regular party balloons, the cheap little birthday party balloons, and fill those up with water, and they are still safer than those bunch balloons. Don't go messing with those bunch balloons. They hurt like shit. Whenever you go to a splash pad, don't let your child suck the water in. That's not something you should have to tell people, but the kind of stuff being washed off the bodies, washed off the feet, washed off the floaties, and then going into the water itself, they suck that crap in, get it in their mouth, and it immediately starts absorbing the bacteria. So when you're wondering why your kid has a messed up stomach ache or they have diarrhea all of a sudden, it's because they got that water in their mouth. Don't let them do that. Bacteria itself is on the rise. I don't know who all lives in LA, but if you're in California right now and you're going out to the beaches, there is this fucked up ass bacteria in the water making them pull people out of the water because it's giving like skin eating disease. If you want to go play in the water, you probably need to go to a public pool that has bleach in it because the rain brings crap down in it. But also, there's not a lot of money in the budget for maintenance, for parks and recreations. Just because they put it in there doesn't mean they're maintaining it. If you've ever been to a park bathroom, you know what I'm talking about. Be fun, have fun, but be responsible. Like, be prepared for what it is you're going to do and take precaution for what it is that you're going to do. Switching from that to all those who take their kids out to do something summer fun related, I am really wanting to start a autism tour guide type thing, like a sensory sensitivity. Anyone can have this idea because I feel like the more people putting into it, the better. But when you go to a place that's supposed to be for kids entertainment or like a movie or like some form of outlet that you go do, like skating or movies or something like that, it would be nice if there was a scale to help people with sensory issues and like or just say agoraphobic or something. All of us could use this scale, but what I'm trying to say is there's some things you've never taken your kid to, and if your kids are spectral, the odds of them being overstimulated within the first few minutes of it, it would be nice to know that. It would be nice to know that they're going to get sensory overload in just a few minutes. Like, I have a couple places to compare. So my kids are spectral, and one, he can spin social tokens all day long, but the other one is using social tokens the whole time he's out. So Chuck E. Cheese in the middle of the daytime is awesome because there's no one there. The only bells and whistles are the bells and whistles of the games without the extra kids and the birthday scene going on and the flashing floor sign and all that. So if you have sensitive children or spectral children, Chuck E. Cheese is manageable when it's empty. To try to take them to a birthday party is to scare the shit out of them with the Robotronic Chuck E. Cheese. We also went to our public pool that was just updated and remade, and that one was about 100% for sensitivity. You could get a good long period in because, one, it was cheap for the parents. It was under $20 for 4 people to get in. Actually, it was under $10 for 3 people to get in, so it was a really good price. And the pool itself is only so deep. It's about, I think, 5 feet deep maximum. And then there's a whole separate pool for diving if you want to do that. And then outside of that is like a wading pool type thing. So if we're adults, if you just want to chill, just want to let the water come in around you, it's a gradual type thing. And then there's a little water fountain coming down that the kids like to play under. But as far as sensory sensitivity goes, there are lifeguards, multiple lifeguards in every station. There were big kids, little kids, and normally there's an age restriction on those like splash pad type things, or the shallow pool, the kiddie pool. They finally made it to where it's not. They made it to where it doesn't matter what age you are, as long as that's in that wheelhouse, that's who can go into the splash pad. So as far as Chuck E. Cheese goes, I give it a 30-minute rating. Your kid's going to be wore the hell out in 30 minutes if they have processing issues. The swimming pool can be difficult because a lot of spectral kids do not like to get water on their head or on their face, and so you would want to avoid the big pool. But in the small pool, it doesn't even touch your waist. It just barely goes to your shins. You can get a lot of time in there. You can get a lot of relaxing in there. So you can get at least an hour to an hour and a half, even with a high sensitivity kid. Something like Adventure Park or the trampoline park or the monkey house, hang it up. Don't even go in. The noise level alone is hard on adults. So to try to take a spectral child into something that's like a monkey house, a bounce around thing, the whole thing's a bounce around, but it's open to the public. If you're going to do something like that, you're really going to actually want to spend the money to rent it out for their time, because the noise level alone is hard to keep up. Movies. Movies is not one of the things that you would think of, but if you have a spectral child or you have processing issues, it would be best to take the noise canceling headphones, because you can still hear right through it. We tried to take R2 last year, and honestly, as soon as the ad started with the ice and the Coke pouring in, the little one was done. He was tapped out. Some things just are not worth the money. You're going to find out immediately that that's not part of the trip. It's not doable, and you're going to turn around. So no matter how much you prepare for it, it's not ideal for them. So not all kids are made the same. It would be nice if there was some kind of guide when you're checking kids' entertainment to see what that, the overstimulation level is. Like how soon before they're at meltdown. So for my own research, my own peace of mind, I've been doing that everywhere that we go. If I get a solid 2 hours without one of my kids panicking, that was a really good spot. If I go there and in 30 minutes, I got to clear out, I know that the next time I do it, there's a dollar amount I'm okay with. Hello, darling. If it's under $40, I can handle it not lasting very long. If it costs me $100 and I can't even get an hour out of it, I feel like that was absolutely wasted. It was pointless. Also, from putting in those little tips and hints because of my own experience, I ended up becoming a tour guide for Google, which is just to say, hey, will you give reviews on Google Maps to the places that you've actually been to? There's all kind of little hidden gems though, because after you do so many of them, they'll like send you certain offers like, will you try this Airbnb? Will you try this restaurant in your town? Will you do, and basically they're asking, will you be not really a brand ambassador, but will you be a representative? Will you do X amount of spots? And then each one you do levels you up to do another thing, basically. But there are promotions, there are rewards in it, there are like perks to it if you take the time to legitimately do reviews and legitimately do surveys and legitimately do callbacks. I know we're all so busy we don't have time for it, but you all would be shocked how much money you really get back for your rebates, promotions, things like that. When you take the time to do it, worth it. The summer reading program is almost over, but you guys should definitely check out your local library. Like I said before, I got free tickets to the zoo. When I was talking to my sister-in-laws, one of them got free tickets to Crystal Bridges for her and all the kids, which is a museum. Hello. How annoying. Okay, well, change channels. Then, after we went to the public library and we, like, all their little perks and tips and stuff like that, there were field trips. There were People's Ink. There were all sorts of things. And half of the videos that I did in the last month were literally 2 blocks away from my house. I went to the same place and they did all those expos. It was great. Then, we also have a splash pad across the street from that. So, we were able to alternate between reading and physical activity. We were able to take little trips just on a whim. All those things were awesome. All those things were worth doing. But it is now at the 100 and something degree mark, and nobody wants to be in that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who has joined in. And to the how annoying, I mean, can you clarify what's annoying? I don't really want to pause for this, but moving on. I'll move on anyways. So, this is to catch up. Whoever's been watching to see what happened in that court case. Okay, so I went quiet the whole weekend and made sure to get my paperwork filed, get all my receipts put together, get all my times and dates, time stamps, forms from work, everything. I've done everything. And I sent a big old file in to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this monster has to be locked up for good, because if she gets out again, she will attack again. There's nothing we can do about it. But since they're offering reimbursement, I had the opportunity to say, I want all this back, A, B, C, and D. And that's not what I said. At the end of the letter, I actually said what I am requesting is a permanent no contact, like a lifelong no contact, to where I don't have to renew it at any point in time. Once the judge sentences her, it's going to be, you permanently cannot have contact with her or the grandkids or anybody else for that matter. Because this is the type of person who calls my work and harasses me, like I said, lets air out of my tire, steals my mail. We had to go to the post office today and actually make sure that the mail is not being stolen still. It's not. We just have a new mail carrier who doesn't know the route at all, so they'll be back on Wednesday. Now that all that's wrapped up with a nice neat little bow, I can't say that real justice will come from the situation, but I can say that anybody in the Justice Department being like, what happened here? Tell us what happened. That may be the only sliver of justice I get. So I did tell my story. I told the whole thing, not just what she recently did, because the way it looks like on paper, it looks like person A did something to person B. And they're tired of seeing person A's name in here, so they actually subpoenaed me to testify against her. But the truth is, I'm her firstborn daughter, so it's not like some regular Joe who's just tired of this person committing property damage. This is someone who she has a lifelong history of doing messed up shit to, and it ended with assault and battery. But by the time they charge her for the first thing she did, before she's still supposed to be sentenced right now. She's still supposed to be in psychiatric right now, but she's not. She's just roaming around free in a field somewhere. But she's not allowed to roam around me anymore, and for that I'm thankful. Her grandkids are scared to death of her. They don't want nothing to do with her. When we were talking about birthday plans this weekend, my son was like, please don't invite her. We won't. It's not even a threat of that. If y'all have kids and one or both of your parents were terrorists, that doesn't automatically mean you have to let them terrorize your kids just because they're Nana and Papa. Nannies and Papas do stuff like, I don't know, make you breakfast in the middle of the night. They do stuff like bring your favorite blankets to school, go spoil you when your parents said not to. Those are things grandparents do. They don't lurk around your house, hide in your bushes, and scare the shit out of your kids by coming through their bedroom windows. My mom is a certified nut, and I've loved her the whole time, but honestly, it's like keeping a dog with rabies alive so that she could try to kill me. I'm done with it. I can't hold on anymore. It's the cutoff season, guys. Before it's back to business, it can't be business as usual because the ones that we were dealing with that were causing the chaos can't go with us. This time when it's over, it's over. Like, the people in my group, the people in my collective who normally tune in with me, y'all have been in an uphill battle all summer long, and so have I. We've got scars to show it, right? Well, I've got some good news for you. Some of the shit we've been suffering, and the person who's signing off on all of it, this November goes lame duck. Won't be able to swing his pen around and have us killed anymore. The shit will fall flat. 2 solid years of just blah, 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 blah. As much as we could take, as long as we could take it, we took it. But this November, when that election shit starts all over again, and it's an utter smear campaign, I mean, I'm looking forward to it like Super Bowl commercials. I am looking forward to seeing these politicians gut each other publicly, trying to get a spot that nobody really wants them in. But I do remember the George Bush Jr. era and how it led to Obama, and then I remember how Biden led back to Trump. So I can only imagine what the solution to Trump is going to be. Like, I can't even picture what level of scandalous we'll be seeing whenever they're, trying to get our vote. It'll be vote or die again. It'll be one of those crazy campaigns where it's like, this is the most important moment of your life. Kinda, yeah. I mean, we're about to change history here, but history's already been changed quite a few times, right? We're seeing a repeat of something that already happened before, executed with extreme prejudice. And I said it earlier, I don't know why every decision has to lead to punishing us. I don't know why every new flick of the pen leads to our punishment and how we're backing that up. That's why I said it's time to break up with a bad boyfriend. Oh, he does love me. You don't understand. He's doing what's best for us. He's doing what he thinks is best. There's no way he thinks is best for us. He's absolutely just enjoying the chaos. And honestly, when you commit one crime to cover up another crime, look, I've seen this in real time. Like my mother that I'm talking about, she does shit just to be destructive. Well, when you know someone who's personally like that, and then you see it on a broad scale, like the world stage, you're like, damn, they might all actually have mental illness. And even if they don't, this shit is crazy. How crazy do we have to be to sign up for more of it? When are we going to be like, that's enough, dude, I can't take any more, like, it's just taking my life away from me? I've seen, basically, the only people I've truly seen punished are poor people, veterans, single mothers, students who are in school, single parents, because I say single mothers, I mean across the board single parent. Um, the disabled, they've been harmed. Basically, everyone who had any kind of government benefit or government job, or like even I have siblings who are teachers, they took a hit. Medical field, they took a hit. Even the tax prep people, they took a hit. It does not make sense why it's the working sector getting hit. It doesn't make sense why the middle chunk is being absolutely looted, while lower class, they were as low as they could go. They were already at baseline. But the wealthy seem to be like, well, I mean, fuck it. We can handle a war. We can't handle a war, dude. It's an economic war. The shit that's being tore up is not going to be fixed back. Our children do not need to be sent to die. They just don't. We didn't sign up for this. I don't want it coming to my home. I don't want it in your home. I don't want it anywhere. I want a solution. Killing our kids ain't a solution. Making us want to die is not a solution. It's like Depop at the highest level. Like, I don't know, turn everyone gay and then get them addicted to social media. That way they either don't go outside or can't stand the opposite sex. That shit's working pretty well, along with the chemicals in their food that basically sterilize them, right? That's just me talking. I remember when boys and girls liked each other. I remember when people got along and hung out. I remember when cookouts happened. I remember when people didn't sit inside their house scared to death of their neighbor who they actually don't know. I remember when little kids would get together and play together in their neighborhood, and their parents would talk. Their parents knew each other. They knew each other. They knew the kids. We don't really have community anymore, and the communities that we're trying to make are still vastly different from each other. It's the fact that it's kind of like a book on a shelf. That book title has to draw in the reader. But basically, we don't have things regulated anymore, and we don't have things put in, like, order of operations. Okay, I was talking about this today with a guy. Hold on one second, I gotta put this up. I was talking with a guy today who is from the 90s, and we were talking about 90s cartoons. And some of the stuff we had access to in the 90s, look, they were not watching us. They were busy doing whatever the hell, possibly even being at work. But when they weren't watching us, the stuff that would come on TV, like, I'm going to use a perfect example, Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network in the morning time would have regular cartoons. And then in the afternoon, it would have the older kids cartoon. And then late at night, it would have Adult Swim. And just whatever in the hell will come on there. Y'all remember Adult Swim. So, pretty much, even though it's a kids cartoon network for kids, there's younger kids, there's older kids, and it would literally be after 11 o'clock, Adult Swim would come on. So there was only one, like, there was a channel for kids to watch. There was Disney, there was Cartoon Network, there was Disney Junior, there was Boomerang, and there was Nickelodeon. So based on those channels being kids' channels, those are the only things kids are really watching. Well, their parents would just turn it on and let them watch it. And then the later it got in the day, like after school, they would only show certain things. After bedtime, they would show other things. So it was like, with the TV being the babysitter, the TV still had regulation on what could be shown when. We don't have that anymore. We don't have regular, like, TV channels anymore. That's the main hub for that age group. Kind of do, but kind of don't. We have streaming now. So you can have Hulu, you can have Netflix, you can have HBO Plus, you can have, like, all these things. You can add each little one and take each little one away, but they have unfettered access 24/7 to everything you don't want them to see. How is that regulating anything? It's not. It's not regulating them, time of day, or content. So if the internet's going to be the new babysitter, and it has been for the last 20 years for sure, why is it not being regulated? Why are there not actual cyber police on every FM platform? Why, like a school, you have a resource officer. Well, if social media has teenagers on it, why are there not, like, cyber resource officers? You get what I'm saying? We have enough. And there's a whole new task force that needs to be created that people are not going to school for yet. And we think, oh, college is old fashioned, there's no reason to do that anymore, we've gone digital. Yes, but do we have people who are digitally capable? Do we have people who can do that same job but on the internet? Like, is there a real pharmacist on the other side of telehealth, or is it just somebody who said pharmacist? Is this Real Weather Channel? Is this like, you get what I'm saying? There has to be a version of regulation. Like, we do these things like Truth Social, X, Meta. Well, you can usually tell someone fucked up when they change the brand name. The fact that Facebook had to become Meta means they were sued that hard. The fact that Twitter had to become X means they were sued that hard. Every time they have to change name, it means they did something unethical and they need to run away from it by way of name change. I've worked at 2 hospitals that had open cases on them of malpractice and other things, and when you come into that hospital to work there, you have to sign things that say you won't talk about these cases. Well, that's fucking terrifying, but the worst part of that is after they get sued and the lawsuits put against them, they tabulate that shit into your bill, and you, the sick person who has to go to their hospital, is now being charged a portion of that lawsuit fee. Scandal, scandal, scandal. The average person has no idea what's going on behind closed doors. They just know the services they need to use. And so if we're going to outsource all those services to the internet, then we need some kind of system of checks and balances. We cannot have a whole second digital world that's just a wild, wild west, which it is right now. And that's why we damn near have crypto bank robbers and fucking perverts. Because there's no way to see who's seeing what, except there is, because what's an IP address. There's a lot of lying going on. There's a lot of falsifying records, but honestly, the digital footprint does not allow for that kind of lying. Unless you know how to scrub something, and even if you do, it'll show signs of being scrubbed. We have meticulous record of everything that has happened so far. You can't tell me that we can't take the data and research and use it for something better than trying to sell shit to people. If you want us to keep using these products and services, make them work right. Make it better. Make the shit make sense. Don't just have it get our attention to the point we just sit here and coagulate. Or just basically, like a dead body, all your blood goes to one side of your body and you bruise. We are the unhealthiest we have ever been, and it's from lack of social interaction, it's from lack of physical activity, it's from lack of understanding of our food, our nutrients, and our education has gone in the dirt. They have proven that the putting computers in schools about 15 years ago did not improve test scores, it worsened them. Our children have less cognitive ability right now than everybody before them. It's literally from the screen time. That being allowed to be on screen while doing tasks, actually statistically proven, 2/3 of all students trying to do classwork online are spending their attention on off task. Like here's their homework. 2/3 of them are doing side tasks instead of the homework. So we wonder why they don't have the math skills, the reading skills, the cognitive abilities, the physical function that they used to, and that is because this does not allow you to read facial expressions well, tone of voice very well. It doesn't allow you to, it fucks with your memory span, because scroll has shortened our memory span. You remember when they had Vines? They were 15 seconds. They had to get rid of Vines because they shortened our attention span so bad they couldn't actually sell us shit on commercials. So they had to go ahead and get rid of Vines and go back to 30 second. You can have a 15 second, and you can have a 30 second. But you cannot have like a 9-second video. You can't have a 10-second video because it shortened the attention span that bad. The only way to work backwards, because obviously the internet's not going anywhere, the digital world is not going anywhere, what we need to do is make something like, I would say digital real estate, because it's places that you have to go, and then those places are regulated. Like I said, why do the platforms not have resource officers? So it would be like that. In order for you to do business with certain websites, if you would call it, they would actually be treated like real sites, like a job site, like a construction site, like on site, on location. Where that place theoretically exists, it is actually literally monitored and regulated. When those places are not verified, and you spend money there, then it would be like spend at your own risk. It would be like swimming in a lake or a natural stream versus going to a public pool. Yes, there's no lifeguard in the stream, but at the public pool there is. And the reason that you go to that public pool, or the reason that you pay your $2 to get in, is because whatever information you entered in there and whatever business you did while you were there needs to be contained by the record by way of that platform. They have been selling us out for a long time. Data mining has nothing to do with just wanting to watch you all the time, and has everything to do with knowing what to sell you and when to sell it to you. We're mapped and monitored all the freaking time. If y'all want us to use it more, make it more useful. If you just want to watch us all the time, obviously people are like, look at me, look at me. You're not doing anything though. Sitting in front of the screen is not actually doing something you need to be watched for. Now, some of the shit people do on camera is absolutely shocking. I do not understand the obsession with committing a crime and recording it like trophies. It's like a damn serial killer. I kept an ear, I kept a tooth. That's how you always get caught, because you kept something, like a weirdo. Well, the people who illegally steal your image off of the internet, illegally steal your voice and your information and all that shit, it's the same thing. It's a predator in the bushes, only you can't see the bushes anymore. We are blissfully unaware of who's seeing us, which, fine. I mean, it's kind of the same in real life. You don't exactly know who's looking at you till you do. But how do you backtrack it and turn the glass around to where the people looking at you are getting looked at? Like, why is it okay for them to be stealing our information all the time? Why is it okay for them to be looking into our homes all the time? Why is it, just because you put yourself on here does not mean you open yourself up to have people, you know, camped out in your yard stealing your trash. I was living with that way before this. It's my own family. They were doing it just because that's who they are. Just because you put yourself out here on a platform doesn't mean that it's okay for you to be targeted. It doesn't mean it's okay for you to be spied on, like literally dig through your medical information and shit. It's not okay for someone to try to look for your address and look you up, because what the fuck are you doing? Why? Why? But a lot of people are voyeuristic, otherwise porn wouldn't be so popular, to be honest. Speaking of that, on the next segment, it will be unrelated to this, but it would still kind of be related to this in public announcements. Our teenagers are so overly exposed. Actually, I'm not going to say teenagers. Back that up. Our children are so overly exposed to nudity on the internet that they're not even being able to hit puberty right anymore. They are confused as fuck. They are seeing way too much. They don't know how to act normal. Like socially, it's like they've already crossed the line without ever even seeing the line. So parents, don't outsource the birds and the bees talk to the internet, because they're going to be that much more confused. Number two, watch what they are watching, because it may look normal, but the conversation is not normal. The stuff they're saying, the implied stuff, the more subliminal stuff, like, I don't know, Donald Duck shooting a milk jug over Mickey Mouse's ass cheeks. It's bukkake, but at the same time, your kid's just confused, like, haha, that's so funny, but so confusing. Look at what I'm talking about. Look at these kids' cartoons that say, for kids, and see if you don't start questioning the subject matter real fast, whether it be the color coding to the moods, the weird songs they're singing, the body language they're using, the characters they're making. I mean, there's a fake Mickey Mouse that has girl Minnie Mouse and her two kids, so she's like single mom Minnie Mouse with these two little badass kids. And this is a foreign cartoon. So even though they're speaking in English, everything that's written is like in Arabic. And it's constantly showing these kids doing shit that's awful. Like one day it shows the mom go to sleep on the couch. And then it shows the two little kids talking between each other, and they tell each other to steal their mom's car keys and run off in the car. That kind of shit. If you're not facing the kids behind you watching the video, you're hearing normal stuff like, mom's asleep, we should be good. But if you turn around and look at that video, it's them talking through little text bubbles that says something totally opposite than what you're hearing. Don't just assume that they're trying to protect your kids. Do not just assume that they mean well for them. Assume that the internet is basically a gun pointed at all of us, and you need to protect yourself. You never know what you're opening up or opening yourself up to. But like I said, it's not going anywhere, so we just need to use the tools that we have better. There is definitely purpose for this, and there are so many awesome things we could do with this tech and these tools. But like I said before, if we're going to have mediocre intelligence, then we do not need a super intelligent computer that we don't know how to work. We don't know even understand how to operate it. Basically, the internet can't be mom and dad. And if it's going to be part of the babysitting program, part of the tutoring program, part of the whatever, part of the work that they're going to have to do, then we have a new job as parents. And new job as parents is like being a lifeguard to the infinity pool. They could get sucked in. They could go to the deep end. And if what I'm saying was not true, there wouldn't be lawsuits on the major platforms over causing your children eating disorders, suicidal thoughts, unalivement, weight loss, weight gain, dangerous and risky behavior. How about the stupid shit like telling them to eat Tide Pods? The chokeout game. Everything they call a game is something to try to kill our kids. They're like, try this, do that. Like, remember the Blue Whale one? All that. This shit is not made up. It's real. And the scary part is we're so far up our own asses scrolling that we don't know what they're telling our kids behind our back. As a parent, you can only really influence your child about 50%, no matter what. You only have about 50% sway over them. The other 50% is the public, their peer group, strangers. You could be with a kid 24/7 their entire life until they turn 10 years old, and the very first stranger they meet, whatever that stranger does, they're going to copy it. Not to a T, but they're going to mimic it because it's something new that they've never seen before. So, like I said, you only get 50% claim on what it is that your kids are expressing. The other part is social. Trying to fit in, trying to match, trying to have the same words or the same outfits or the same scenarios to try to relate to each other. There's nothing more unrelatable. This thing right here has such a individualized experience that you may come across a few of the same thing, but there's hardly anyone. In a class of 15 kids, all 15 of those kids have different likes and interests and hobbies, and they spend a lot of time on the internet, and they go to totally different places on the internet than each other. About the most I've heard in one place are the games, like online games, like Roblox is definitely one of them, and a few of the other ones. But the fact that our kids' games are hacked, their platforms are hacked, because it's like this. You said you made a place for kids. And Predator said, I don't want to waste any time. This is where I can shop for kids. So for every new invention, there's a new set of crimes, right? When we invent something, we should also think of the butterfly effect. What will be the consequence of this? Well, we've opened Pandora's box. Okay, with the internet being connected worldwide, 5G, I mean, it's instantaneous. We've got 7G, we've got 12G. Like, you can have full-blown holographs in a public space. We can do all types of shit. But the part we're not wanting to talk about is where pretty much the Wi-Fi is burning holes in us. We don't want to talk about the part where we're getting microwaved and ear damage and eye damage and spinal rupture and cancer. We don't want to talk about the brain, breast, and ass cancer from literally holding a phone to your head, putting it in your bra, and putting it in your back pocket. Well, 20 years down the road, our phones will basically be Agent Orange. How long is it going to be before they're back to fiber optics? Because sneakily, that's what they've been going back to for a while, fiber optics. There has to be some kind of safety mechanism on this thing. Like I said, it's basically a weapon, and it's definitely being weaponized. It's up to each individual person to decide how they're going to use it, and definitely if your kids are using it, you should treat it like gun safety. Let's practice. Let's go to a range. Let me see how you do while you're on this thing, and turn your trackers on, because kids lie normally. It's not even an ego thing. It's a protect themselves thing. They don't just want to automatically say, yeah, I did this. You gotta bust them out on it. Well, with your trackers on, you don't have to bust them out to their face. You can just, go back through the search history and see what's up. We're in a whole different time of trying to deal with parental controls. We're in a whole new era. Like I said, the Wild Wild West. We don't have the regulations that we need yet. We don't even know what all we need yet. But there are some suggestions, and it's time for a big old suggestion box, because if tech wants to keep being tech, take some of our suggestions. Make this thing more useful. Make it more helpful. Quit letting it make side alleys that make it seem worse than useful. There's so many useful things that, like I said before, how come we can't use CCTVs to track down robbers, kidnappers, whatever, what have you? If the eye in the sky can watch us for every other reason, why can it not watch us to stop crimes? Why can it not watch us to track down, like I said, kidnappers? Why can it not, if we've got all of our animals chipped, what's the point? And having all this technology, if we're just going to let it melt in the sun, if we're just using it for ad dollars, if we're really just using it to make bigger billboards. I don't need my fucking TV to be bigger, guys. I need my life not to suck. I need more money from my paycheck. I need more groceries in my cabinet. I need more gas in my car. I want to take a break. I don't want to be at work to go to work some more after that. People are being pushed down to a tiny little one square box and being told that they don't even deserve that. That's a crock of shit. We should not have people who are in charge of us who want to hurt us. We shouldn't have the kind of parents that want to give you a toy to see you hurt yourself with it. These are not caretaker types. These are greedy types. These are do what I say, not what I do types. Do it or else types. We don't need that, and that's not a good example to our kids. And in order for us to try to have a future, it's time to start trying to save it right now. Those who invented the internet and those who have been using it for the last 20 years are solely responsible for the correction of course. You built it, you're going to stay on duty. You used it, you're going to stay on duty. You amplified it, you're going to stay on duty. Because by the time my 9 and 11-year-old children turn 35, I guarantee you there's not a stitch of paper left almost. There won't be a hard copy. There won't be like a DVD, an actual game. There won't be a console. There won't be shit. It'll just be online. Scan the QR code. Literally get it on digital. And I'm going to say it, I've said it before, it's very, very hard to keep track of reality when there is no tangibility to anything. It's very hard to keep track of the order of events when everything's just on a stream timeline. Yeah, you can run it back and forth, but that's not solid. That means any time could be any time. There needs to be a definitive start and end to things. There was a clear start to the digital era. And so that we don't accidentally end ourselves with it, we're going to have to regulate and monitor. We're going to have to treat it like everything else. It's not an automatic weapon just because of what it is. It's because of the way people use it. A gun requires a bullet and a person who's willing to shoot. The internet requires a criminal and someone who's willing to extort. It's the exact same thing we've always had in a new format. So pretty much the monster isn't different. It's not gone. It's changed its method of operation. We aren't going to do too well if we let it go like it is. If we let it go like it is, we're pretty much going to talk our kids off a cliff, make ourselves too depressed to get up and get out again, and we're actively making ourselves physically very ill from this. From doom scrolling to getting depression to like chronic sadness, grief, anger, things like that. You become like, emotions can be addictive because it's an actual chemical release. So someone who's always angry is actually addicted to being angry. Someone who's always sad is in a way addicted to always being sad. Like that's the feeling their body's most used to. So they keep doing things to produce that outcome, right? Well, if you're kind of being brainwashed, if it's kind of being forced on you and told to you that that's what you think over and over and over again, that reinforcement actually convinces your inner dialogue that you were never right. Ignore your own gut feeling and listen to the echo chamber. Listen to the feedback loop from hell. Listen to the thing that keeps telling you you're not good enough, that's not going to work, you're too broke, it's too late, it's over for you. More negative comes out than positive right now. You can use the exact same thing and turn it around for the better. There's a lot we could do. There are so many technical skills that we could teach through simulations. Obviously, flight simulation is one of the main ones, but surgery, veterinarian, dental, and autopsy. A lot of reasons for criminal justice and use, all types of things like that, where you don't have to try to guess your way through it. It's already mapped. It is digitally mapped. We have a record to go back and forth from. And I do have to admit, the part that I like about digital is that it's like a time capsule. It can't be denied that it was marked on that time and on that day, permanently in history. It's recorded. Oddly enough, for those of us who are living right now, the majority of our history, almost back to the 1800s, is actually on film. You can watch it on a TV. You can listen to it on a radio, like a recording. You can watch it on a reel-to-reel. I mean the 1900s, not the 1800s. Almost. From the entire beginning of the 1900s on until now, it has been a technological explosion, and that's not for no reason. It's because we've reached the edge of our knowing. We went from hunter-gatherer to agricultural to, at some point, you will become automated, right? Like, you will get up to that. So this is where we're at right now. We're trying to get off of the manufacturing up to automated, but if we skip too fast, there's nothing after that. There is no up, because you did automation without an alternative solution. Okay, if we automate everything, who do we use to do the diagnostics? Like, if a printout comes and says this machine is messed up, you need to go fix it here. If no one knows how to interpret the information, automation still doesn't work. Once it breaks down, the knowledge is lost because the machine was doing it for us. Now, if we start having machines build machines for us, we literally will not be involved at all. Like, we won't know how it was made, we won't know how to fix it, and when it's broke, we won't be able to use it again. We won't be able to look for how to do it. So if we somehow just decide not to learn anything else, add any new skills, or develop, if we don't expand with it, not only is it outpacing us, we're outpacing ourselves, we're outsourcing ourselves. We're saying, I don't want to do it, I don't want to participate in life, I want it done for me until I'm dead. Well, that's not the point of being alive. The point of being alive is for you to build character, to build skills, to make connections, to, even if you don't make a family, have a family. If you do have a family, I'm still going to segue back off of this because, like I said, regulate for your kids' sake. Everything I say is for the sake of the future. Everything I'm saying is the problems that we've been having that refuse to be solved, that are still pressing issues that, if not dealt with, it's like a compound fracture. This bone is being pulverized. It's already been broken several times. It can't be taped back together. We're going to have to get metal stents in here. And now, if you don't understand how metal stents work, body gets infection, still die, right? We have to do aftercare. After the invention of this comes a whole bunch of other shit. Cause and effect. Every little thing is cause and effect. For every action, equal and opposite reaction. So every time we think we put out something good, like I said, a new crime is invented. Every time we think we've solved something, a new problem exists. We have more access to information than we ever have. And somehow our IQ is dropping at a rate that can't be recovered because they're not having to do the hard part. They're not having to do the part where they fail. They're not having to do the part where they make the mistake and have to go back. It's just being done for them, so they don't see a reason to learn the process at all, or to accept failure, or to have to persevere. So we're losing a lot of other qualities that are not just mental acuity. It's other things that have to do with shaping your character and how you face life itself that we are losing by having this, by having too much done for us, by having the kid gloves put on. The kids aren't getting kid gloves, the adults are. That's not working. We can't keep changing the vocabulary words to protect predators and confuse ourselves and gaslight ourselves to the point of saying, there's nothing wrong, nothing even happened. It's just, that was just a time in history where we all got a little hysterical and then it died down. That's not going to work. Like I said, changing the vocabulary words does not change the nature of the crimes. Trying to sugarcoat everything to where it's not even what it started out being. If someone physically attacks you, say you get strangled, what are you going to use a nice word? They hug me around my neck hard. Because why? Because strangle's a scary word, or because that's what happened? No. The only reason they changed the words is to lessen the charge that the criminal would get. To instead of being a chargeable offense, well, if we play a word game and get it down to bite size, then it wasn't as bad as what they really did. We can call it racketeering, not fucking human trafficking. That kind of shit. Keeping the courts clogged up with word games is stupid. Putting poor people in jail instead of real criminals is stupid. And having absolutely no oversight for the internet is stupid. I know that we all think we can be our own boss, but that's not true. People don't police their self-worth as shit. And everyone thinks they're hidden on here. Unless your face is literally on camera, they still feel like, you can just hide behind your screen name. Kennedy Games Samuel, whoever that is. I can see your for how annoying. And again, you never clarified on what was annoying, but pestilence is going to remain, war is going to remain, famine is going to remain. And brace for the hit, because if you didn't already have to ride this roller coaster the first half of the year, it will be you the second half of the year. Half of us have already taken a beat down. So we have to get off the field. And now the other half who didn't take it, got to get on the field. So prepare, brace yourself. It sucks. If you got through the first half, congratulations, because that was a freaking joke. Spring and summer were hard. They were hard. But to those who have to take the fall and winter, my heart goes out to you. I do not like having to do it in the wintertime. I don't like having to carry the sadness. I don't like having to carry the poverty. I don't like having to carry the sickness. So I took my hit at the front of the year, and a whole big 50% took that hit with me. So now we have to sit down. We have to go ahead and wait for our testimony to be asked for. And then the other half now have to finish up the work and do their part. And then at the end, y'all will have to testify. So there'll be part 1 and part 2. And that would be the spring and summer crew goes on part 1. And then the fall and winter crew will go on part 2. But by the time we get to part 2, it will be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that change is here. We will never go back to the way it was. We will not be picking up old policies, and we will have to correct course, because basically what we've allowed to be done to us in the last 2 years is almost irredeemable. If we don't get someone in there who's not trying to cut the purse strings off, I don't know why we the taxpayer pay to get fucked, but I'm not for it. And we the taxpayer are finally going to do something with our tax dollars to where it's, but we unionized. We went ahead and got an HR representative out here, because this is bullshit. This is not how things are done. And we didn't sign up for this. If you don't like something, don't agree to it. Do not go along to get along. Don't go with the crowd. Don't put your name on it. And if you did sign up for something bad and you find out, damn, that was awful, I wish I wouldn't have, all you have to do is not do it again. Just learn from it. Just do better next time. And all those things have been tore the fuck up. I mean, in many, many ways, it's not going to come back. I said this the other day. Although it looks like total destruction, more often than not, the downfall of a structure is merely the blueprint for how to rebuild it better. And the Build Back Better agenda, is funny that someone would say that while literally demolishing everything. However, we will have to build back better, and we will know what our problems were, because I don't agree with what he's doing, but at this point, he's touched on every little topic and subject that he could get his hands on, right? So we all kind of know where to look. He pointed this, and he pointed that, and he pointed this, and he pointed that. Well, at the end, all the fingers are pointing at him, and it's not going to matter. But also, some of those fingers are pointing at us. Some of those are, what did you do about it? Where were you when this happened? Like, did you do anything, or did you just bitch and complain? It's like people who don't vote being mad about who the president is. Well, you didn't fucking vote, so it doesn't matter. You don't give a shit anyways. And I get it. When people do vote and they're like, well, because the Electoral College, my votes don't really count anyways. Yes, it does. Those smaller elections that you do for your city council and for your judges and for your cops and that shit, all that adds up. It's your responsibility as a citizen to know what the fuck is going on around you and who you would like to have in charge of you. Because if you don't care, then whatever person just has the cojones to be like, well, that's my seat. It's an open seat. I'm taking it. That's who will get it. Power is not given. It is taken. So if you, the people, give your power away, the takers are coming to take. The greedy and the power hungry are coming. And that's kind of what happened. We had a little bit too much of a lackadaisical attitude about it. That basically, that dry, slow, boring courtroom jargon led to us being like, fuck that, I want a reality TV star. I'm bored. Politics is boring. It should be. It should be. Just like Bloomberg, just like watching the stock market, it should be very boring. It should be factual and dry. The truth is boring. That's why it's not being told right now. They want sensationalism. They want entertainment. They want shock value. Our real life's pretty shocking. We don't want to watch the person who did it bragging in our face about it and celebrating it with his friends, talking about, this is where all your money went, this is where I'm spending it, fuck you. He's acting like he's got fuck you money. He had it before he ever went up there. So taking our money to do it to us makes no sense, and us being like, yes, take it. It's like being at a concert, throwing your shirt at someone. It shouldn't be like that. That is inappropriate behavior for such a high office. That is specifically not being taken seriously. Our presidency should not be treated like Dancing with the Stars. You just call in and vote for your favorite dancer every week. This is not a fucking popularity contest. Usually, those who are good at the job, I like to say it like this. A good boss does not make a good friend, and a good friend does not make a good boss. Your boss trying to be your friend wants you to like them, so they're going to let shit slide that they shouldn't, and it's kind of going to fuck the job up. There's going to be a lot of stuff that isn't really taken care of all the time. But a good boss is not a good friend, because no matter how friendly they are, if the job's not being done, they'll cut back to boss. They will let you know, you aren't doing your job, we're falling behind, you're doing good, but, and they'll try to encourage, they'll try to be more encouraging than critical, but at the same time, they'll call a spade a spade. They won't just let somebody take up space because, oh, they need a job. How would it make them look? Or they have a family. Well, many people have a family. And anybody who's at a job half-assing it or pretty much slow quitting, you are stealing from other people who would work. You're stealing from other adults who have children to feed. You're stealing from children. You're stealing from adults. You're kind of stealing from yourself. Let people who want to work and will be at work go to work, and let those who are just slacking off, having their thumb up their ass, trying to have something to do for the day, make them go. They're not helping anyone. They're costing everyone. It's what makes the cost of product go up. It's what makes the cost of employment go up. It's what makes the cost go up because they're not efficient. They're not pushing out